recording.
We're rolling? Okay. Hi. I'd like to start with showing my Intel i7 processor chip. So I'll have to walk that one over to the camera, I think. This is the chip that I settled on. It's not really the chip that I had been waiting for, but after the chip I had been waiting for came out, and I discovered that it did not have the USB 3, native USB 3 or native SATA 6.0. I was greatly disappointed and settled on Generation 4, the newest generation, the LGA 1150 4770K Haswell processor chip. The K means that it's unlocked. I can go into the BIOS and I can actually overclock the chip if I want to. I'd really just like to be able to clock the chip to the motherboard with the RAM. Anyway, that's one of the items that I've collected over the years. This is the most recent addition. The next thing, of course, is the Sabertooth Z87 motherboard, and I'm very excited about this motherboard because this particular motherboard has the military standard circuitry in it, and it is warranted for 5 years. It's expected to last, and it gives you just about all the other features of any Z87 motherboard, and even a little more in some cases. This is the EVGA Supernova Gold Standard power supply. Not platinum, but you know, it's gold and it's very good. Got it at a very good price, and I will begin with opening this because I'm very excited about this. I have to show what this is all about. This is very good price, and from everything that I've read, all the reviews, this particular power supply got rave reviews. It's passed the test of time. It's been sitting in my storeroom for some time waiting. Look at those cables. Look at the way they're sleeved, okay? And lots of cables, and you'll notice all these cables, they you know, your SATA, your power cables, everything. Nice little booklet there. You'll notice that they're all off the power supply because it is a modular power supply. For the first time now, I'm taking it out of the box and taking it out of its packing. I don't know why they give you that little thing. I'm certainly not putting it in my computer like that, but yeah, Velcro. Nice. I guess that's just so the finish doesn't get damaged or anything. And very handy. You have a nice little handle here, you know, where you can put it in your case. You know that it's built strong, firm. Switch. But you'll see it is fully modular. Now, generally you have to pay a little more to get something like that. Sometimes twice as much. See, it says SATA, PATA, all your different areas where your power supply lines go. Here's your CPU. If you're running, let's say you're doing a server board with two chips, CPU 1, CPU 2, you know, you're set for that. This is an amazing deal, I think, for what I paid for it. I won't even say, but generally you got to pay about 2 times as much for gold standard, completely modular power supply and what I paid. I got it, you know, on sale. It probably isn't that price anymore, but a brilliant, a beautiful price. So yeah, have to put this in here again at some point. But this is what I will be putting in my computer case shortly. Very excited about that buy, and I suspect I won't be having very many problems with that. Next, I guess I could open this up. I guess I could actually open this. I'm so scared to open this. This is my CPU chip. It looks like they sent me the one with a cooler in the box, which is kind of surprising. I won't be using the cooler in the box. I ordered a better cooler. Give me a moment here. I'll get a thing I can open that with. Find my little blade here where I put it. There it is. Generally, the stock coolers that come with CPU chips are not all that good. And seeing that this is a chip that can be overclocked, it probably would be wise to give it a better cooler. Yeah, here is the cooler. I see that it already has the thermal paste or whatever applied to it. Very small little cooler. I don't expect that cooler to really do a whole lot, you know, in the way of you know, efficiency. I mean, it no doubt will work, but Haswell, recently I learned, is a very hot chip, despite the fact that it uses only 85 watts as compared to my other. Boy, this is really interesting how they do that. Okay, yeah. Look, I mean, it sits like that. Or like that, yeah. What a feeble-looking cooler, heatsink. My goodness, seriously, I would not use very short wire there. I imagine that it'll work like that for a time, but I really suspect that that you would have problems with overheating. You try to, you know, do any real work with your computer, especially high-end gaming or something. But yeah, getting back to my point about Haswell, that's the chip. There it is. All these little pins on the back of the chip, I don't know if you can see through the plexiglass. I'm not going to open the plexi or plastic here. I'm not going to open this. Not until I actually install it. That means that there are 1,155 of these little pins on the back of the chip. And the one that I originally was going to order had 2,011 of them. But yeah, so we'll leave that for now. I would have ordered the X79 LGA 2011. That the 2011 applies to the type of socket, which is determined by the number of pins on the bottom of the chip. But you know, I mean, I cannot believe they come out with a brand new chip and it's still native USB 2, still not SATA 6.0, when Haswell already provides that. And I believe even the Ivy Bridge 1155 provided that. So there's no excuse for that. That's really sad. And yeah, so here it is. This is my motherboard. This is the Sabertooth motherboard. I wanted to get the X79, but as I already said, these are my goodies. Connecting pieces. Oh yes, these are all the different fans. It's a very different sort of motherboard because it has built-in fans for the motherboard. Oh, I'm so excited about this. This is something. But they continued with their Tough series and for Haswell. And also still offered the 5-year warranty I decided I would opt for this motherboard. Now, you can see it's in a static protective casing. So it takes something to open it up, and I don't know if I'm really going to. If it's already sealed, I'm not opening it. Here's all your attachments, your SLI ribbons for your graphic cards, if you're into that sort of thing. I love this. These are your blocks where you can attach your wires to these little blocks and then just put the pins, right onto the motherboard instead of trying to fight the little cramped areas, little tiny wires trying to get them in. Here you just take this, plug your wires into it, and then plug the whole thing onto the motherboard. Asus has done it again. Great, great company, Asus. No question about it. Yeah, I got some SATA plugs and my I/O shield right here. And of course, probably won't be using this. I'll probably be downloading everything right from the internet. There's their Tough Inside logo you can put on the case when you're doing a build for someone. It's a totally different series. It's a totally different line. In fact, it comes with a certificate of reliability in gold with its special Asus logo for the Sabertooth series. Like I said, it's the only military standard motherboard out there, and this is the user guide. These things are built to last, but they're also built for performance, and so I'm very pleased with that. It's funny because in a couple of years the wife here will be inheriting this from me, and I'm hoping when the X79 2011-3 comes out, and let's hope by then they have their act put together over in Intel regarding the Haswell E chip, so that I can actually go with a full-size motherboard and get all that bandwidth that I wanted. There are 3 reasons to get an X79 board. One is bandwidth. Okay. The other one is having lots of memory. See, this is a static sensitive bag, so you don't fry out your board. Static electricity. Now look at how this board is built. All these channels, cool air runs through the channels and through the circuitry, over the circuitry, through all your connections, and keeps those things cool directly and keeps the dust out. It's a beautiful idea. It is a beautiful design. It really defies description. There's a little fan that goes in here. I'll have to take the screws out here, pop it in there. Another little fan that goes in there. It's a self-cooling type of motherboard. And these capacitors are the tough capacitors. They're over 500% beyond your standards for capacitors used in this application. They're up and beyond your standard for building. This is really a serious motherboard, and also you'll notice that on the back of this motherboard, it's reinforced. Okay, so you're not poking your fingers on all these little connections, terminals, what have you. Okay, and for when you're using cooling fans and things like that, the board's not going to flex so easily, stressing the board, maybe even cracking the board. You don't have that problem with the tough circuitry. There you are, tough. We got your back. So the back of your board is reinforced as well. This is really a brilliant design. And I commend Asus for their insight and innovation in developing a motherboard like this with the thermal armor. And I can't wait to use this thing. I cannot wait. Actually, I'm really hoping that the Asus will come out with a X79-3 or whatever LGA 2011-3 motherboard for the Haswell E chip. I'm really hoping they'll do that because from everything, and you have to understand, I have been studying this stuff for years. I have been watching and researching, that's the word, researching this stuff for years. And, you know, and reading all the comments of people who have been using it and, you know, what they have to say regarding this sort of motherboard and these other products. I'm not really an EVGA guy, but everything I've read from this, and EVGA isn't really a power supply company. But good reports, tested time, quality workmanship, you know, yeah, I don't care. I'm not necessarily, you know, just all hung up on a brand name as I am with results. And I'm finding that results is something that Asus is consistently running in. Asus is the forerunner in my view. I know there's some other good motherboard manufacturers out there. Elite not being one of them. I don't recommend Elite. I had an Elite board that did not last very long. And that's okay. I ordered a used Asus motherboard for my daughter. Did circles around that Elite. And so, you know, and from there I had established an Asus relationship here that's been wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. So, a really nice gold standard EVGA power supply. The Intel Haswell, I know I'm excited here, 4770K, which means that, you know, if I just want to tweak it just a little bit, you know, I'm not a hardcore overclocker, not by any means, but if I want to tweak it just a little bit, I can. I have that option open to me. I can speed it up just a little bit. Not only that, I can get into the BIOS and configure the RAM, you know, which I can't do with my X58 because of the chip that I have in that. But, you know, the old i7-920 has served me well. Can't complain. Should be happy with what I have and all that stuff. But family concerns are pressing on me. And sooner or later, my girls are going to want another computer. Actually, they already do. And, you know, so to me, the way it works down the chain of command, the wife who's videotaping this, thank you, Rachel, is, you know, going to inherit the X58, and then I will be inheriting this, and my daughters will be getting, well, my 6-year-old will be getting the dual core, and the 4-year-old will be getting her dual core, and yes, the 2-year-old gets to play around on the Celeron. So yes, that's how it's going to run. It's a good system. It's an economical system, and everybody gets an efficient running system tailored to their needs. Now, except me. I gotta say, I'm very excited about all this stuff, but this doesn't really answer my requirements. Haswell does not give me the bandwidth I'm looking for all the applications that I use with respect to, I do a lot of video editing and things like that, okay? I don't have that, so, you know, I mean, I could put up with this for another 22 months or so until our good friends at Intel get their act together. I'm very disappointed what they did with the X79, very disappointed. If the X79 have USB 3, native USB 3, if their chip, pardon me, if their chip, the 2011 LGA 2011 chip, Ivy Bridge chip, Ivy Bridge E chip, you know, have native. I can't believe they did that. I just, like, what an insult to their own product that, you know, already 2 other products have already out there having native USB 3, already having native SATA 6.0, and they don't even have that on their latest Ivy Bridge E release. What a shame. Shame on you, Intel. You ought to know better than that. So that's why I didn't bother buying the Ivy Bridge E 2011 Ivy Bridge E Intel chip, because it wasn't worth it. I will wait for Intel to get their act together to realize that you don't thwart your customers like that, and you know, hopefully they do, and then I will be going Haswell E, and hopefully the 2011-3 socket will also give me 8 DIMMs of RAM. I'm hoping 8 DIMMs. That's another disappointment with the Haswell. Right now it's only 4 DIMMs. There's a lot of people that like to run something, it's called RAM disk, and it's faster than any SSD imaginable. So try to imagine that. Okay. Oh, I forgot to put this funny EVGA case. I don't know if I'm going to ever use this case, but it's kind of nifty. I mean, great. So I guess if it's in transport, it's a good thing to have. You know, it's got that handle, all in gold here. Supernova, EVGA Supernova. I really think this is going to be a good power supply for my board. But yeah, you know, I'm a little, I think there's a lot of users out there a little ticked with Intel right now for what they did, failing to put native USB 3 on board and that chip, and the native SATA 6.0 on that chip, when they already made 2 other, you know, generations with that, and then, you know, they expect us to use USB 2.0 native. I mean, what is the matter with these people? But yeah, so I will wait for my bandwidth chip to come out. Hopefully, I'm pretty sure the new Haswell Extreme will have that. And hopefully, I'm just hoping that they're going to have those 8 banks of DIMM so that you can really do some stuff with RAM, with respect to RAM disk, which just, there's no comparison. An SSD won't even compare to RAM disk. And, oh, I guess I'm learning how to put all this back together. This is fun. And just in winding that down, you know, I'm hoping that the DDR4 RAM that they are going to actually be coming out with in about 22 months will also be applicable to this, because I would love to be able to run maybe, let's say, you know, 260 or 200 and something gigabytes of RAM, and literally run everything directly from RAM, my operating system, all my important programs directly from RAM, because you can't even think so fast. You know, it'd just be the moment you touch anything on your system, you know, it'd be there instantly. You don't have to wait for anything to, I mean, you won't even have to wait a nanosecond after you click on anything with that kind of RAM happening. But, you know, that's just, you know, my dream, and I'm hoping that they'll come up with that. It's going that way. It's looking it's going to go that way. That's exciting. That's worth waiting 22 months for. I really hope that Intel redeems themselves for after such a stupid move as not putting on native USB 3 and 6.0 on their chip. That's it. I hope you enjoyed watching. I hope to give you further videos concerning my build. I didn't bring out my case. It's a Thermaltake GT level 10, by the way. So I think it's going to be quite the computer once it's built. Thank you.